This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Two local healthcare professionals look back on what life was like as the COVID-19 pandemic started to spread through our community last March. That story and more next. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. I'm Ken Cara, and here's your local information. Last March, Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton started to see an influx of patients with COVID-19. There were a lot of unknowns back then as healthcare workers did their best to help those in need. Today, our Lisa Sugar continues a series called 1 Year Later, as we look at how our community responded to the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Today, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Anthony Valent, who is the Chief Medical Officer at Lehigh Valley Hospital in Hazleton, and also Jody Shigo, who is the Director of Patient Care Services. I want to ask both of you, but Dr. Valent, I'll start with you. Take us back to the first time you heard about COVID-19 and the first time we had a patient here in the Hazleton area.
Phrased that way, I think the first time I heard of COVID-19 was probably sometime in late 2019, when the disease was confined to China, and we saw the reports coming out of China, the images coming out of China with the lockdown and so on and so forth. Our first case here, I believe, was on the 24th of March, 2020, which, as you said, is almost a year to the day at this point, or very close.
I think healthcare professionals heard about it sooner than the public. We heard about it in late 2019. And then kept our ear to the ground to see if we were going to be impacted as we moved into 2020. And I think we did a really fine job of preparing just in case. And then, as to Dr. Valent's point, it hit us hard the end of March. From March till probably May, we had quite a surge of COVID patients in the Hazleton campus.
Dr. Valent, back then when you were first having the first patient, what was your biggest concern at that time?
To be honest with you, it was, I think, the fear of the unknown more than anything. I think that's just a very simplistic way of putting it, but it truly was. Remember that we had never dealt with anything like this before. We knew it was obviously very contagious disease. We felt that the PPE that we were wearing would protect us, but there's always that element of doubt, if you will, in your mind. And especially my concern actually was more for the nursing staff and the folks that were in the room for hours with the patients, more so than myself, for example, where I was still there, but not nearly in as close contact and for as long a period of time as the nurses were. So I think that was the main concern, was the spread of this to other patients, to the staff. It was everything you heard about it. Bringing it home was a concern. You're just there was always that you were never able to relax, I guess. For a couple of months, it was a very stressful couple of months that it was hard to kind of forget about, I guess, so to speak.
I'm sure you were not happy, none of us were, when we heard that we were being called a hot spot at one point. So what was it like when you were here working in what was labeled as a hot spot for COVID-19?
So, we didn't need anybody to tell us. And it certainly, it just added that little more anxiety to the whole thing, because now not only are you worried about taking care of the patients you have and keeping everybody safe from a relatively new disease, but now you had the possibility of saying, what if we don't have enough employees? What if employees start getting sick and patients keep coming in? What if we don't have enough space? What if we don't have enough ventilators? What if we don't have enough this or that? So, I think that's what the term hotspot kind of connotated was. It made it not more likely, but inherently more possible that we were going to run into those problems. Thankfully, we did okay with ventilators. We did okay with staff. We never had to open up some of our emergency plans for additional space in the hospital. So we did okay as far as that goes. And I'll be honest with you, I think a big reason for that was the the push that Lehigh Valley Health Network, as well as the local Chamber of Commerce and our local leaders, the push that they put into place to really mitigate some of the progression of the disease locally really seemed to save the day. If you look at our curve, when we go back and look at our curve from that time, it's just an amazing slope downwards that we were able to pull off here, and I think that speaks to the concerted effort that was put forth by all those people I just mentioned, and probably some that I forgot. But I think that really saved the day was the mitigation efforts that were in place locally.
Today's news feature is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Remember, in an emergency, our emergency room is the safest place to be.
Over the weekend, SSPTV was happy to carry the Northeastern Pennsylvania American Red Cross Telethon. $84,837 was raised. The telethon helps the Red Cross in Carbon, Monroe, Pike, Wayne, Luzerne, Lackawanna, Wyoming, Bradford, and Sullivan counties. A number of local swimmers had success at the PIAA State Championships. When we need sports knowledge, we go to the SSPTV Standard Speaker scoreboard. At the AA State Swimming Championships, MMI Prep freshman Wooby Kupski took home 2 medals. He finished 3rd in the 500 freestyle and 7th in the 200 IM. Senior Maddie Dando of Marion was 12th in the 100 backstroke. At the AAA meet, the Hazleton area boys had a record number of swimmers in the pool. Senior Tony Goulstone broke the school record that he set in the 200 IM and finished 12th in the state in that event. Goulstone was also on the 200 freestyle relay team that set a school record with Antonio Dayut and Logan Yakubowski. They finished 15th in the state. The Monoy area girls basketball team won on Friday night, and they are hosting a AA state semifinal game Monday night against Mount Carmel.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. On Tuesday, it's mostly sunny with a high near 60 degrees. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low near 40 degrees. Wednesday, we have a chance of showers with mostly cloudy skies and a high in the 50s. Wednesday night, there's a slight chance of showers, mostly cloudy skies with a low in the 40s. Thursday is partly sunny with a high in the 60s. Thursday night, showers are likely, mostly cloudy with a low in the 50s. Friday, showers are likely. It will be mostly cloudy with a high in the 60s. And Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low in the 40s. Coming up, we learn about a group that stands up for those abused and neglected in the foster system, and about a fundraiser they're hosting called NEPA Sings. And in sports, I talk with Tamaqua area's Nate Wickersham about the bronze medal he won at the state wrestling championships.
SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Henrietta Honey de Sororis, age 82, of drums. Mass will be held on Tuesday at 10 a.m. at Good Shepherd Roman Catholic Church. Friends may call Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the church. The Harmon Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Rita Krushinsky, age 80, of Still Creek. Mass will be held on Thursday at 10 a.m. at St. Mary's Ukrainian Catholic Church. The Damiano Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Mark Lishka, age 55, of McAdoo, who passed away on February 6th. Mass will be held on Saturday at 11 a.m. at Church of All Saints in McAdoo. Michael Murphy, age 63, of Hazleton. Mass will be held on Saturday at 11 a.m. at St. Gabriel's Church. The Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And Judith Ann Tomiano, age 73, of Hazel Township. Friends may call Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. at the Fierro Funeral Home. Today's social and obituary report is brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. Call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.